Detroit Lions have announced some roster moves. I'm sure you have seen it by now. This happened about 8 hours ago. Just wasn't home when it happened. I'm not home around that time period when this stuff breaks, so I can't show it to you until now. But we knew this already. According to Lions Twitter, the Lions announced roster moves. The Lions placed defensive end Aiden Hutchinson and defensive lineman Kyle Peko on reserve injured, and this got broke earlier before that as well. Lions also signed defensive end Isaiah Thomas to the active roster from the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad. Now, we knew Aiden Hutchinson and Kyle Peko were going to get placed on reserve injured. A lot of people, I really do hate about it, that a lot of people are not talking about Kyle Peko getting hurt because, in my opinion, it is a big loss in that defensive line because he had that relationship with Terrell Williams. He's a good veteran to, teach the young guys like Wingo or Zarike, Chris Smith, all of them guys, Broderick Martin, to teach them young guys. Good defensive tackle pass rusher as well. He can rush the quarterback. He reminded me of a Tyson Alulu, except just younger and smaller. I mean, he literally plays like Tyson Alulu to me. So it is a big loss in my opinion. And placing defensive end Hutchinson on injured reserve, we knew that coming, all right? We knew that, obviously. With this, we create 2 roster spots, one of them being for Isaiah Thomas, and we still have that 1 roster spot still open. We already had a roster spot open, so we now have 2 roster spots open after we signed Isaiah Thomas. So we still have 2 current roster spots open. One of those will probably be for Mahogany, and then one other one will probably be to replace Peko like Chris Smith or Pat O'Connor, or we'll go outside and seek a trade or sign one of the free agents that are still available. So, let's talk about Isaiah Thomas, though, now. Isaiah Thomas, a former... Pull this up for you guys. I don't know how I feel about it. Isaiah Thomas, he's 25 years old. He'll be turning 26 at the end of the year. He's a big guy, 6'5", 270. Hutch is 6'4", I believe. So he's a big guy. Around the same weight, I believe, as Hutch as well. I don't think that's correct in terms of stat line. I'm pretty sure he did a little bit more than that. Former 7th round pick back in 2022. He was actually projected to go in the 4th or 5th round, but he fell due to off-the-field issues, which is rare that Brad Holmes goes after those guys. We saw it with CJ Moore this offseason, not off-the-field issues, but with being suspended. You don't usually see that from Brad Holmes, and we've seen it as well from some other signings through the years. I think Nickel Roby-Coleman also had him some problems. Guarantee you forgot he was a Detroit Lion. He was. He had off-the-field issues as well, I'm pretty sure, at some point in his career. Don't quote me on that. I might be thinking of somebody else, but he was a Detroit Lion. So this is another player that Brad Holmes with off-the-field issues has attacked. So I guess if it is something, now I don't know what it was, so I'm not even going to go deep into it. But Isaiah Thomas, former 7th round pick back in 2022, was projected to get drafted in the 4th or 5th round. He fell to off-the-field issues. Don't know what it was. I'm going to take a look into that after this. Let's show you this, guys. Back in 2022 when he was drafted, he played 10 games, had 9 tackles, 4 solo, 5 assists, and 1 sack and 1 fumble recovery. That's no fantastic stats, but they are okay. In my opinion, this is just depth signing. It really is. Let's take a look at his college stats here. They are very good stats. You can tell that he was projected to go in the 5th or 4th round. 4th or 5th round. His college was Oklahoma, so not from a small school. He played 4 years in college, had a total of 18 career sacks, 0 his rookie season, 2 his second, 8 and 8 his 3rd and 4th year, and 0 forced fumbles his first 2, 1 his 3rd year, and then 3 his last and final year in college. So you can tell this guy was going to get drafted in the 4th or 5th round from his production in college, coming from a bigger school. So I really do like this signing, even though he hasn't played a lot. Now, I initially kind of lost my mind because I'm like, this better not be the Hutch replacement. I would have rather had Bruce Irvin initially when I thought about this. But at the same time, I have looked deeper into it. I've watched some other Lions creators' videos giving their thoughts on this and watching some tape of his. I really like it. He's more of a shifty, speedy defensive end, even though he's a little bit bigger. He's more on the Josh Pascal type size. Um, Even though he's a little bit bigger, he is very shifty. He is very fast on getting off the line. So this does intrigue me quite a bit. And even if he's just a death piece, he has to be signed to the 53-man roster once you're poaching him from somebody. So now, from what I'm understanding from this, and I'm pretty sure this is correct, you can poach as many players as you want for people's teams. From players' teams. I didn't know if that was the case. I didn't know if he had a limit or something, but you can poach as many as you want, but they have to go on the 53-man roster, and they have to be on your 53-man roster for at least 3 weeks before you want to get rid of them, release them, waive them, whatever you want to do. So welcome to Detroit, Isaiah Thomas. And yeah, I'm gonna look up here while making this video what his off-the-field issues was, because I am curious. But it is very rare for Brad Holmes to go sign an off-the-field player who has off-the-field issues in the past. So let me see here. Isaiah Thomas. I have not seen anything showing what his off-the-field issues was. If it was with... Yes. I do not see anything with off-the-field issues. So, at least it looks like it's nothing serious with off-the-field issues. But welcome to Detroit, Isaiah Thomas. Hopefully this is just a me-time, a replacement for Hutchinson for a game or two, and then we'll trade for somebody at the deadline. I don't care who it is. If it's Hassan Reddick, if it's Troy Hendrickson, even if it's a guy like Dietrich Wise, which is personally who I expect, not necessarily for Dietrich Wise, but in terms of overall talent, that's kind of what I expect is for a player like Dietrich Wise. It would just make the most sense. He won't cost the most, even though I think we should go for Troy Hendrickson. I'm more fine as well with the signing after we just gave Elaine McNeil an extension about an hour ago. So that made me a little bit more, happy about this. But initially I did kind of lose my mind because I'm like, if this is the Hutchinson replacement, which I don't know why I thought that. It was very early in the morning, so I just probably wasn't all there in the head yet at that point. But welcome to Detroit, Isaiah Thomas. One pride, go Lions. Let's just get that actual replacement for Hutchinson now. Let's get Trey Henderson, whoever it is, to be Detroit Lion. One pride, go Lions. Welcome to Detroit, Isaiah Thomas.